listening to the Community Link Crew on GFM 96.6. Tell your friend, tell a friend. 96.6 GFM.
Right then, we're going to head over to our interview now. We have Eileen in. I'm sure you'll all remember Eileen. So Eileen, welcome back. Welcome to this month of December. So we're going to talk a bit about students taking Christmas jobs.
That's right. One of the things that we're finding is an awful lot of students come home for Christmas, particularly people in their first year, and they get a job. And when students are just working for the holidays, so Christmas, Easter, summer holidays, there's a special form that they can sign for an employer, a form P38S, so that the employer just pays them and they don't pay any tax unless they think they're going to earn more than £6,475 while they're working in that time. So, that's what, about £124.51 a week on average. But if you're going to work 52 weeks a year, maybe yes. But if you're only going to work, perhaps a couple of weeks at Christmas, that kind of thing, although you're going to earn more than £125 a week, because of the weeks that you're not working in between times, you don't need to pay any tax. So really what I wanted to do was to remind students that if their employer says, sign this form, that's what it's about, so that they don't end up paying tax and then go back to college after Christmas and, there's tax out of this and waiting ages for us to repay it. Why pay it in the first place if you don't have to? It saves all those phone calls and, have your money straight away if that's right.
That is really helpful, actually, because I'm sure these guys will probably be coming up to it soon enough. And when I was at university myself, I had a Christmas job and I had no idea about the P38S form. No idea whatsoever.
Right. Yeah, people seem to be aware of it in the summer when they're going to work for 5-6 weeks or more, but they don't necessarily pick up on it at Christmas. And, sometimes it can be, if you're working, you haven't signed any forms and, worked really hard over the Christmas rush. Because students seem to be the people who are prepared to take the waitressing jobs on Boxing Day, Christmas Day, and all that kind of thing. Because it's only once or twice in a lifetime. Let's do it and earn some money, because that's what becomes important. Find themselves with a couple of £100 tax paid, perhaps if they've worked really hard, and we're all looking for the cash to be steady, aren't we?
Oh, definitely. So does it avoid going to all that hassle then? If you fill out your P38S form straight away, it avoids going to all the hassle of then trying to claim the tax back later on and going...
That's right, yeah.
Okay.
Yeah. I mean, it's different if you're somebody like the girls and Robin who are still in school, still living at home, and so have got a job maybe that there's regularly every week through term time as well. Then you might find that your employer does take tax from you. They won't give you the form P38S, but you probably don't earn £124.51 every week. So that even if you do earn more over Christmas, New Year, you probably won't pay tax on it because you haven't used your £124.51 in the earlier weeks.
Are employers as clued up about this then as you are? Because can you actually say to an employer, look, I am a student, can I have the P38S form? Because sometimes it might not necessarily...
Sometimes they are, and sometimes for an employer it seems an awful lot. I'm taking a lot of tax out of everybody else, but not you. Well, we do actually send all the employers a CD-ROM, which has got all the instruction books on how to do it, and they can actually print one of these forms P38S from our website, or they can print it from this CD that we've sent them, and it's there, and it'll come with instructions for them to see how it all works. They just get the student to sign it, but if the student doesn't sign it, they've got to take tax.
Okay then, right.
That's the important thing, is for the student to sign it, because if at some point in the future we go to the employer and say, gosh, you paid this person £500 that week, but you didn't take any tax, why not? Well, they're going to say, look, I've got the P38S, and we'll say, that's fine. But of course, if they haven't got that, then they're in trouble, so they're going to take tax.
So it's equally important for both parties then to be aware of the form and to make sure that it gets signed.
That's absolutely right, yeah.
Okay then. Yeah. Right then, so that is really helpful, because like you said, at this time of year especially, there's a lot of temp jobs around. There's even Tamana, read one out with 18 odd hours, so there is a lot of...
That's all right. And sometimes employers take the opportunity to have a student work for them over Christmas to see if there'll be, when I've got more work in the summer months, I know whether this person suits me or not.
Yeah. Okay then.
It's quite important. There's lots of good places to look, and I'm going to... Well, you know me, I can't sit here and not say HMRC.gov.uk for the Revenue Customs website. But when you're on the internet next, this is for, anybody from about 11 upwards. aimed at students. There's a website that we've had a hand in called Tax Matters.
Okay.
And when you go on to Tax Matters, it's done with sort of quizzes and games and videos and that kind of thing to help people understand what they do with the tax, why we pay taxes, and how it works. So that there's an example there of a guy who's got a job as a DJ and what he needs to do about his tax. There's another lovely one that I really quite enjoyed watching. A girl who's in the sixth form, quite good at art, and suddenly finds that people are buying her pictures, her drawings.
Oh, wow, okay.
And of course, it's self-employment.
Yeah.
She's making a profit, but will she have to pay tax on it?
Because self-employment, that's very different to obviously to standard employment.
Well, that's right, yeah. But it's, just little bits and pieces like that. And it's surprising how it makes it easy and straightforward to follow. And if there are teachers listening, actually there's teachers pack on there for the national curriculum.
Oh, right, okay then. So it's actually being brought into, so you can actually bring it into the school then and get the children from an early age to understand.
An early age, and it's sort of, there's lesson plan ideas there for all sorts of ages. Yeah,
that's brilliant, yeah.
Tax Matters.
Tax Matters, is that .co.uk or .org or?
I can't remember. Tax Matters .HMRC. I just put Tax Matters in Google, and it was the first one that came up.
Okay then, so there you go, everybody listening out there. Tax Matters, put that into Google. We will have a look during the Caribbean news for you and see if we can find the link and then report that back to you afterwards as well.
Thank you, that'll save my bacon.
Anything else, Eileen, that you've got to update us on?
Well, just two little reminders.
Right then.
One's about those of you who have perhaps got a tax return to fill in for us. Remember, you've missed the paper deadline of the 31st of October, so you need to do that tax return online by the 31st of January. But if it's the first time to do a return online, you need to register, and that is at hmrc.gov.uk, where you set yourself up with an identity, you choose your password, and then wait about a week or so for us to send you an activation code. So it's a bit cold and slippery underfoot, I promise you, as I struggled in here. So while you're in there, in the warm by the fire, go on, get yourself registered so that it's ready when you want to fill out your return online.
Yes.
And the other thing is...
Okay.
One more thing that I haven't warned a listener about. Sorry. We've sent out several thousand letters to families where children have recently started school. And, of course, what that means is where they've been getting tax credits and the childcare element for children that were under school age, and perhaps the children have now started school. We've sent out something like 900 letters to families in Gloucester alone. So...
Wow.
If because your child started school, your childcare arrangements have changed, don't forget to let us know.
Okay.
Because what I don't want is for you to be overpaid on tax credits and then having to repay it.
Yes, yeah. Because that is a bit of an issue.
That's a bit of an issue,
yeah.
so...
Especially this time of year.
Well, that's right, yeah. So you've got your paperwork. Dig it out, give them a call.
Wonderful. And it only takes, I think that's the thing, isn't it? People also, they feel that it's, it'll take a lot of time, it's quite long-winded, but it is one of those necessary evils.
It's one of those necessary evils, but I think if you've been talking to the tax credit helpline, you know that they've helped you set up a password thing, so the ID process is much quicker. But take a tip. They don't open on Sundays, the phone lines anymore. They've stopped people working on Sundays. They surveyed the people that were ringing in, and it was something like 2% of people are ringing in and costing nearly 5% of the costs to provide the service. But they reckon with taking the working hours from the Sunday into the middle of the week, actually something like 1.7 million more people should be able to get through.
Fantastic then.
So that's, in the middle of the summer when people were fighting to get through, it's a bit more that way.
There you go then.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eileen. And just to give you a reminder, don't forget about Tax Matters. We've got it here. It's www.taxmatters.hmrc.gov.uk. And in case you didn't get that, like Eileen said, Tax Matters, stick it into one of those search engines, hit the search button, and it will be there for you.
Thank you.
Thank you very much, Eileen. Hopefully we'll see you again in the new year.
Yes, I should think so.
You bring us some good news.
Thank you. I'll try.
Okay.